Hello friends, welcome back, and I hope you are cozy. I hope you've got a nice little warm drink with you, and I hope you have your favorite blanket draped across you as I do. Today I am going to be walking you through my fall reading list. So I have a goal for the year to read 50 books, and that's kind of, I wouldn't say average, it's definitely not above average. I feel like I see some people who crank through books and some people who are lucky to read one. So I feel like 50 is like, I'm a reader, but it's not like all I'm doing. So I am definitely behind on my goal, but something tells me that this fall season is going to be perfect for catching back up. So it's not even cold yet. There's no chill in the air where I am, but I have decorated and I have made some chai tea and I am ready for the feeling of fall. And so I am attempting to create it a little bit more, lean into it a little bit more with my fall reading list this year. So today I'm going to walk through that with you, and it's a pretty good stack, and I honestly haven't checked to see, like, I have a goal of reading all of these books by the end of November, and I'm not sure if that will actually catch me up to my 50 books a year goal, but we'll find out together. I have selected a lot of these, some kind of randomly, some based on like TikTok recommendations, some just based on this is calling to me in this moment, I'm gonna add it to my list. But all of these, more so than probably ever in my life, really lean into the season. They really have the feeling of what fall is about, either the coziness aspect or the mystery aspect. I've really kind of curated a fun little list here, so I'm going to walk through that with you today. I'm also going to let you know a couple of the movies that I plan to watch this season. I will be thinking about the movies in terms of pre-Halloween, so really for just this next month, some movies that I have on my radar. Some of them will probably bleed into the Halloween part of fall, but September is happening now, and so I'm ready to go ahead and lean into the coziness. And I think that starts with some movies, as well as a few TV shows that are kind of on my radar. But I ultimately am just ready to share some things I'm looking forward to this fall, and books is a big part of that. When I think of fall, I think of reading. I think of sitting in a similar spot to where I am now, cozied up on my couch with a blanket, the lights a little dim maybe, and just the lamp shining on my book, and reading for hours and hours. I didn't always do this, maybe as regularly as I do now, or try to do now as a kid, but I think of those moments and it feels like home. It feels like fall. It feels like that coziness. And so I'm excited for all of these books for different reasons. So without further ado, let's dive in. Oh my gosh, I love chai tea. Okay, so first we have to address this. Okay, so I have been reading the ACOTAR, A Court of Thorn and Roses series for a little bit now. I just recently, over the weekend, finished the third book. So I can't necessarily say that these books are on my fall reading list, one because I just finished it, and two because I don't currently have the next two in the series. I don't hate these books, I don't. If you don't know about them, they are fantasy, romance, really intense world building, and honestly phenomenal. Like a phenomenal premise, really interesting history in the universe that you're in. It's not captivating. I've read 3 books of them. This one is 700 pages and I've read it, but something about them just rubs me the wrong way. And again, it might just be the length to where I'm 500 pages in and I'm sick of these people. Like, just get to the point. Like, I felt a lot of that, especially in this book. I didn't notice it as much in the second one. The first one may be a little bit the same, but for very different reasons. The plot is pretty different overall. I can't say that I don't like this series, but it's definitely not, like, I probably won't revisit it ever. I'm never gonna reread these books, she says. But you know what I mean. So I would love to know your thoughts on these books, why you like them, or why you also kind of can't get yourself to love them as much as you want. Like I said, I don't have the other 2 books yet, but if I stumble across them, especially the next one, I'm pretty sure it's pretty short, so I might work that in to the fall reading. But right now, they are not on my radar, probably until closer to Christmas. So like I said, I just finished that book, and now my current read is Agatha Christie's Halloween Party. So I know I said that I am leaning into the fall part of fall, the autumn part of fall, and not the Halloween part yet, but I couldn't help but go ahead and read this book for a couple of reasons. I haven't read much Agatha Christie, if I'm being honest, but I think I've read 2 other ones. 2? 3? I've at least read 2 because I read the 2 that became movies recently, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile. Both amazing, book and movie, truthfully. So rumor has it that the new Haunting in Venice is based off of this book, which I have less than 100 pages left, and I'm so confused. Like, I don't see how that's going to translate. So actually, I'm going to look that up real quick and make sure that I'm correct. Yeah, Haunting in Venice is adapted from the Halloween Party. I either am not paying attention to the previews correctly, or they're really taking some creative liberties. But we will be tuning in, because this book is so good so far. I finished The Court of Wings and Ruin Friday night. Yes, Friday night. Started this one immediately Saturday morning. It is Sunday afternoon, and I've got less than 100 pages left. The goal is to finish it today, but we'll see if we get there. This is perfect. This is a perfect book for right now. Not only the mystery side of it, it's a bonus that it happens at a Halloween party, but the writing is so, like, it's almost like if Gilmore Girls was a mystery. It's fast-paced and it's kind of witty, and it keeps me on my toes. So I'm a big fan of this book, which is another reason why another book on my reading list is Agatha Christie's Closed Casket. Now, I know nothing about this book, so actually let's read what we have here. What I intend to say to you will come as a shock. With these words, Lady Athelinda Playford, one of the world's most beloved children's authors, springs a surprise on the lawyer entrusted with her will. As guests arrive for a party at her Irish mansion, Lady Playford has decided to cut off her 2 children without a penny, and leave her vast fortune to someone else, an invalid who has only weeks left to live. Among Lady Playford's visitors are 2 strangers, the famous Belgian detective Hercule Poirot and Inspector Edward Catchpole of Scotland Yard. Neither knows why he has been invited, until Poirot begins to wonder if Lady Playford expects a murder. But why does she seem so determined to provoke a killer? And why, when the crime is committed, despite Poirot's best efforts to stop it, does the identity of the victim make no sense at all? I'm in. I hadn't even read that. I just picked it up because Agatha Christie Closed Casket seemed very folly. Wow! Okay, so 2 Agatha Christie books on the radar. There's a little list on the back of this one of all of Poirot's novels. So I'm going to see where in the order does Closed Casket come in. Hello? Am I stupid? It's not on here. Wait a minute. That's crazy. Yeah, okay, so it's not even on here. So that's kind of crazy. Wow, I'm excited, and I've probably said so many of the names on here wrong, so don't make fun of me. I recommend this already. I don't even know how it ends, but I know it's going to be good. Next one is a little kind of random. I think I've seen it getting more popular on, like, the internet again, but I'm really not sure, because I'm pretty sure it's not new at all. Like, I think this is a pretty old book. Old, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Copyright 92, so it's been out for a hot minute. So if you're like me, you've heard of this book before, but truly know nothing of its premise, and that is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Someone at my local bookstore for our silent book club recently suggested it, and so interested, but from what I've heard, this is very, like, dark academia, like that vibe, which I feel like I don't read a lot with that setting, so I'm kind of excited. This is definitely considered a modern classic, I would say, and so here is the back cover. Under the influence of a charismatic classics professor, a group of clever, eccentric misfits at a New England college discover a way of thought and life a world away from their banal contemporaries. But their search for the transcendent leads them down a dangerous path beyond human constructs of morality. Ah! Little psychological thriller! Ah! Okay, so I don't know when I'll read this one. It seems like this would be one that I need to, like, start when I have a lot of time, because if I read it a little bit at a time, I might either lose interest or just get really antsy, and so it feels like I need to sit down and just crank through this one, which is pretty long, over 500 pages, so this will be a beast probably. I really need to like get my mind right for this one. But either way, I'm excited. I kind of think I own this book before now. I kind of think I can picture this like at my house growing up. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean the timing would be kind of right, so maybe it is, maybe we own it. But either way, The Secret History, Donna Tartt, on my reading list. Next up, you already know we're rereading the Harry Potter books. So I've already reread the first two. That is really how I kicked off kind of August, easing my way into the comfort by starting with some familiarity. But I'm about to read the third one. I really can't decide what order I'm gonna read these books in. Not the Harry Potter books. I can't decide if I want to go ahead and jump to this one next, or if that's like too tempting to then keep going with the series. I feel like I need to get a few more under my belt before I read Prisoner of Azkaban, especially because I love Prisoner of Azkaban. I love all of them, don't get me wrong, but this one, I also love this movie, and so I think the book, now that I know I love this movie and it's become really one of my go-tos, the book itself is also like super exciting to me, and I just want to read it because it's so good. It is never a bad idea to read the Harry Potter books or watch the Harry Potter movies. If you are at a loss on how to spend your time in the fall, may I present to you the best pastime of the human experience, the Harry Potter series. Maybe that's dramatic, but I love them. And so, I don't know when I'll read this one, but something about Harry Potter, little Remus Lupin coming into play here. We love it. Mwah. While we're on the series kick, I found the third book in the One of Us is Lying universe at the bookstore the other day, and I had no idea this existed. I have read the first two, obviously. One of Us is Lying and One of Us is Next. It's definitely not as, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, when I'm reading Agatha Christie, I'm like in the mystery. In this one, I'm kind of like really more interested in the people at play, if that makes sense. Like, I think the way that she has written these, it's like, yeah, the mystery, the driving force of the plot is the driving force of the plot. But the thing that keeps me reading is I'm like, what is this person's deal? Like, I'm like, what's their deal? Whether they did it or not, what are they up to? So that's why I love these books. And I'm really interested because the first one was a certain set of characters. The second one was like second gen, kind of like some of their siblings, people younger than them. And this one is the original cast coming back. So the inside jacket says, "The third time's a charm." It's been almost 2 years since Simon died in detention, and the aftermath has been hard to shake. First, the Bayview Four had to prove they weren't killers. Then, a new generation outwitted a vengeful copycat. Now the entire Bayview crew is back home for the summer, and everyone is trying to move on. Only, this is Bayview, and life is never that simple. At first, the mysterious billboard seems like a bad joke. Time for a new game, Bayview. But when a member of the Bayview crew disappears, it's clear that the game is serious, and whoever's in charge isn't sharing the rules. Or maybe there aren't any. Bronwyn, Cooper, Addie, Nate, Maeve, Phoebe, Knox, Lewis, Chris. Everyone's a target. Okay, first off, this is everybody, and now that someone unexpected has returned to Bayview, things could get deadly. Thing is, Simon was right about secrets. They all come out eventually, and Bayview has a lot it's still hiding. So I think very well done in that, like, while they're one-offs, the first two, and like they're kind of interconnected, the people were so important to the story and like who they were, that now doing it this way, I'm like, I'm in. I kind of like, I don't need to meet new people because I'm still so interested in that group. Wow, Karen, what a genius. Another fun fact, I really impulsively bought this because, like I said, I didn't know it existed. This wasn't on my radar to put on my fall list, but I saw it at the store, and it's a signed copy. I got her little signature. I'm very excited about this one. These books, like, I wouldn't say they are my favorite series for sure. These, like, probably not even top 5, even if you don't count Harry Potter. I think they're really good, but they're not like blow your mind good, but they're really good. And is that fair? I'm so bad at reviewing things because I'm like, they're great, they're so good, not my favorite, but so good. I can't give any better vocabulary to it than that, I'm afraid. which is tough because I'm sitting here telling you about books. You'd think that I would have a good vocabulary for them. It's fine. All that to say, one of us is back, very excited to read this. Okay, we have 3 more on our list. These are all 3 books, let me just premise, all 3 books that I have been influenced to buy, but know very little about their plot. I've seen these either from TikTok or YouTube suggestions from people that I watch, and they just give off the right vibes. So I am going to read all of these descriptions because I haven't read them yet. I don't know what these books are about. I just know that they give the fall vibes that we're looking for. So let's go with one that is actually also in a series, but I'm really just committing to one right now. We'll see where we go. This is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. So if you haven't spent any time on the internet, I'm willing to bet you've seen stuff about this book, good or bad, because I have seen stuff about this book, good and bad, and I'm really not sure who I believe. And it's really hard for me to tell like whose reviews most closely align with mine. I feel like I like most books. Like I feel like I always will read a book and be like, life-changing, legendary, and then I look at the reviews on Goodreads and everyone's like, trash, 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 tomato, tomato. And I just like books, okay? So I bet I'll like this one. Let's read the back, shall we? This is the story of an investigation turned obsession. Pretty unpopular high school senior Andy Bell was murdered by her boyfriend, Saul Singh, who then killed himself. It was all anyone could talk about, and 5 years later, Pip sees how the tragedy still haunts her town. Now a senior herself, Pip decides to re-examine the closed case of her final project, at first just to cast doubt on the original investigation, but soon she discovers a trail of dark secrets that might actually prove Sal innocent, and the line between past and present begins to blur. Someone in Fairview doesn't want Pip digging around for answers, and now her own life might be in danger. I have always gotten this vibe, but especially after reading this, I get the vibe that this is a very similar setting to Karen McManus' One of Us is Lying series. Set in a high school, something tragic happens, whether in the past or whatever, and now someone gets tangled up in it. Listen, I think it's a good formula. I clearly have bought it. So I'm excited to read this. It seems like one of those that, kind of like that book, like, how could there be a sequel to this? But we're gonna give it a shot. Like I said, I've seen this everywhere, so I feel like there will be something worth experiencing in it, right? Like, this is gonna be worth the read, even if it's not my fave. And hello, a good little mystery, little cozy mystery. I'm excited! Ah! I'm a big fan of the mystery genre, I think. Nothing too spooky, but mysterious, solving a murder, I can handle. So I will let you know how this one goes. 2 more. These last 2 I'm pretty sure were both recommended by one of my favorite YouTubers, Darling Desi. I've seen them other places too, but she has recommended them and I trust her with my life, so I will be reading them. The first I've had for months. I got it, honestly, maybe in February, and have been saving it for the fall. I was like, I can't read this yet. This is perfect for this. So this is A Far Wilder Magic by Alison Saft. I mean, look at this cover. I haven't shown you the covers enough, but like, hello. This is an intoxicating love story set against a mythical hunt. Sold. I'm sold. In the Gothic town of Wigton, Maggie Welty lives alone in an old creaking manor. Sold. I'm sold. But when she spots the Hala, a legendary fox creature, she knows the half-moon hunt will soon follow. Whoever kills the Hala will earn fame and riches. While Maggie is the best sharpshooter in town, she needs the help of an alchemist to be in with the chance of winning. Enter Wes Winters. Fired from every apprenticeship, this is his last chance. Maggie and Wes make an unlikely team, a charismatic but troubled boy and a girl who has endured life in a town that never welcomed her. But the pair are drawn together as they uncover dark magic that could be the key to winning the hunt, if they survive that long. I'm speechless. I'm so excited for this. Wow. I'm glad I didn't read the cover before this because this would have been really hard to keep down. I really just said, you sit on that shelf, I'll come back for you. And I'm coming back right now. So this will be one that I need to time right because I could get caught up in it. A Far Wilder Magic, called an utterly transportive, intricate romance. I love that could risk everything. They know how to market this book. They got me good. Last but certainly not least on my TBR for fall is a little book called The League of Gentlewomen Witches. This one I have seen a lot on TikTok. I can't say that enough. How many times am I going to shout out my TikTok algorithm in this video? Lots. Everything about this just screams fall. Like, they are doing it right here. And honestly, they give off similar vibes. But so yeah, The League of Gentlewomen Witches. Miss Charlotte Pettifer belongs to a secret league of women skilled in the subtle arts. That is to say, although it never must be said, witchcraft. The Wicked League strives to improve the world in small ways. Using magic, they tidy, correct, and manipulate according to their notions of what is proper, entirely unlike those reprobates in the Wisteria Society. When the long-lost amulet of Black Black Barrel. I should not be reading aloud. When the long-lost amulet of Black Barrel is discovered, it is up to Charlotte, as the future leader of the League, to make sure the powerful talisman does not fall into the wrong hands. Therefore, it is most unfortunate when she crosses paths with Alex O'Reilly, a pirate who is no Mr. Darcy. They got me. I'm sold. With all the world scribbling after the amulet, Alex and Charlotte join forces to steal it together. If only they could keep their pickpocketing hands to themselves. If Alex is not careful, he might just steal something else, such as Charlotte's heart. So clearly, I did get some romance in here. I was a little worried that I didn't have enough romance in my fall reading list, but I think this is going to be perfect. I love this. I can't get over the cover. Everything about that back cover description, all of that language just sounds so cozy. I'm so excited. Wow, this is getting me amped up to read. I'm gonna have to hurry up and finish my Agatha Christie, even though it's so good. Oh man. Anyway, so that is my full reading list. I hope that has given you a couple of recommendations. If you have read any of these books and would like to either warn me about how good it's gonna be or about how slow it might be, I'll take either. Please let me know. And if you've read it and you're like, talk to me when we're done and we'll have full-on conversations about it, I'm totally down. I love to read. I honestly wasn't feeling that great before I started this video, and now I'm really excited. I'm feeling really good, and I haven't even opened the book. I've just been talking about them. So that is super fun. So now I think it is only fitting that I also tell you some movies and TV shows that I'm hoping to watch this month and a little into next month. So this will not include anything Halloween related. So don't get me wrong, I love Halloween movies, will be tuning in to watch some, but I want to get cozy before I get Halloween-y. Does that make sense? I don't know. I think sometimes there's this genre of movies that I think I'll watch in the fall and then I jump too quickly into Halloween or even Christmas and I don't fully lean into just cozy stories that feel like the turning of seasons. And so I've made this list again with a couple of recommendations from other places, but also just from my heart and what I like to do. But I think it's important to have balance in your life, so read books, but also watch a little television. So first I want to talk about TV shows. I definitely don't plan to finish any TV shows this season, there's nothing like that, but I do want to start a rewatch of Gilmore Girls, like every other human being on the planet right now, but that's okay, because it's perfect. I am torn because I've really only seen the series through once, and loved it, but there were parts where I was like, this would be better as just like a show to have on at this point. Like I'm into the story, but I almost just need something on and it's cozy like that. But I want to experience the story to the fullest again because I've really only gotten it through once. And so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have it as my background show that I just put on when I'm doing other things, or if I really want to commit to watching it, to really watching it all again. I don't know. That's gonna start soon. I've been a little scared to start it for that reason, I think, is that I don't know how much mental energy I'm gonna give to it, but it's about that time. Team Jess. I also want to keep watching One Tree Hill. My husband and I started watching that a long time ago. I have seen it through 4 times, which is crazy because there are 9 seasons. Younger Allie could just really, she was impressive. But we started rewatching it together, and because I really think he would love some of the characters, and just some of the plot lines are honestly pretty cool. So we've been watching that. We're currently in the middle of season 4, so moving along, but I hope this fall that for times that we're home and we're doing like either doing things like around the house but like still can give something our attention, I want that to be One Tree Hill. That's also just like cozy in a different way. There are some fall scenes for sure, but I think just like the filming of it, the pacing of it, it just feels like home. It feels cozy, it feels like your friends. Brooke Davis is my best friend, clearly, but so that's been fun, so I want to continue doing that. I honestly don't think there are any like new shows coming that I'm particularly like tuning in for. Hey, so editing here, and it has occurred to me I forgot to talk about Only Murders in the Building season 3 that just came out. Definitely something that is keeping me going in this fall. It's one of the coziest shows out there. It's the perfect mix of humor and mystery, and I just totally forgot. So watching it currently while I'm editing, wow. So also go watch Only Murders in the Building. Waiting for the next season of Bridgerton, but I'm pretty sure that's coming in December, so Christmas Alley can worry about that one. But yeah, I don't know if there's any others I'm particularly like, this one's coming out, can't wait. The writer's strike is really doing numbers on some of my favorite shows. I'm really missing Abbott Elementary. How I Met Your Father got canceled, which I'm gonna riot. But yeah, those are the TV shows I got. So now let's talk about movies. I really struggle with movies because I fall asleep. Whether I've seen it before or not, I get sleepy on this couch and I fall asleep. And so I love going to the movies. I love going to the theater. I love watching. And I can usually stay captivated, but I struggle at home. And so I'm really hoping to like make eventful moments out of the movies and not just turn it on. That way it's like, oh, I'm here doing this, or I'm watching this for this reason, or watching this with this fun fall themed snack, and this is a party. And like, does that make sense? I don't know. But that's what we're doing. Some of these I've seen before, some of these I have not. All kind of mixed in, but hopefully again on the radar. At least not all of them before the Halloween season, probably, but know that my Halloween recs are not on here. So the obvious ones, Harry Potter. I told you guys I'm rereading the series, and as I finish each book, I'm letting myself watch the movie as a little treat. And so we watched the first 2, and I am pumped to watch the third one. I love that movie, so I really need to get on it and read this book, but hopefully by the end of November, we'll have watched like up until the last 2 or 3. That's kind of my goal, is to get to book 5 by then. Hopefully, that seems like kind of ambitious, but anything for Harry Potter, absolutely anything. I also think I want to rewatch Twilight. My husband and I did that a little bit ago because he had never seen it, and that was really fun, a really fun experience to watch it with someone who hadn't seen it, especially once we got to Breaking Dawn. But I think those are also ones that I just want to have on. Like, that will really set the mood. If it's ever rainy, I'm ever doing chores, I'm gonna throw on Twilight, I think. I think that's gonna be my first go-to. So, a movie that I haven't seen before, that, again, one of my favorite YouTubers recommended, is The Odd Life of Timothy Green. This one is set in a fall, autumn season, and it seems very, like, wholesome and very warm of a movie, and so I really don't know anything about it, other than that I believe there's this couple, they're struggling to have a kid, and one shows up, and I think it's nature related. I should have done my research before I tried to explain a movie I haven't seen. But yeah, The Odd Life of Timothy Green, that's on the radar. If you know anything about that movie, or think that I should watch it, or if you're like, Allie, you're totally off in your description, feel free to let me know. Next up is Mean Girls. Hear me out. I love this movie. It is so comforting in probably the weirdest way. It just feels like one of those movies that, again, makes me feel like I'm at home and like I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right place. It's familiar, it's nostalgic, and it's funny, and I think it'd be perfect to put on, especially if we have some things to do, but like maybe you're like on the couch and we're like working on something, put on Mean Girls for a quick giggle. And again, to just set that environment to be like home, like comfort. That movie is great. The musical, also great, but that movie, that is something else. Truly, if you haven't seen Mean Girls, 'tis the season for you, my friend. The next up is the big 3, and I've only seen 2 of the big 3. So we're getting there. What I'm talking about is You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, and When Harry Met Sally. Like I said, only seen 2 of those. I'll let you guess which ones. But I think that would be perfect for September specifically. The setting is calm and chill and sweet, and it's not quite like deep fall feeling, like it's not Halloween-esque at all, but it's comfortable. Maybe even a little bit predictable, but it's what you need this time of year, you know? Perfect. So I'm excited to watch those. I'm hoping that Cameron will watch them with me, but if not, those also seem like really good movies to watch when I have a night to myself. So I don't know what we'll do there, but like I said, You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally. If you have seen all 3, I'd love to know which one is your favorite. Honestly, that might be tough, is figuring out which order to watch them in, because I might like get sad. I might get sad. Anyway, the next one is Little Women. I probably want to watch the new one, if I had to guess. Would it be totally crazy of me to tell you that I've never actually seen it? That I've never seen the new Little Women? That's probably a crime. Because I've only heard, like, not necessarily even good reviews, but I just feel like people are like, that's the movie that you have to see. That is probably one that I'm like, if I'm gonna make myself watch, like, say I lose all motivation to watch all movies, you have to watch Little Women and Harry Potter. And last but not least is a movie that has kind of become a favorite of mine, but almost in like it's my husband's favorite, so it's my favorite because I like that he likes it so much kind of way, and that is Fantastic Mr. Fox. Cameron loves that style of movie. He loves Wes Anderson. This one in particular really has his heart, which I think is so funny. I think it also kind of reminds him of his dad. I think they watch those movies. His dad really likes that kind of stuff. And so Cameron actually had me watch this movie, I think last year for the first time. Well, friends, I think that is everything. I would love to know if there is anything else that you're looking forward to this fall. Books, movies, TV shows, but also anything else that really defines the fall season for you. I have a couple of ideas for things that I want to experience this fall, capture this fall, but I would love to hear, if you're watching this, what is something that you think is quintessential fall? Either a book, a movie, even like an album. I debated picking out some albums, but I didn't think I was qualified enough for that. So truly anything like that that reminds you of the beauty of this season, that creates that same feeling that you get when you think about fall. Anything that creates that feeling in your heart when it's fall and you're around the bonfire and making s'mores, or when you're sitting on the couch and you've lit a nice candle, or when you're decorating for Halloween. Anything that gives you that feeling. I'd love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching this. I hope it was fun. I hope you like this season as much as I do, and I hope you're excited for it. I hope you have something that you're looking forward to. I think it's important that we get excited for things. I think there's something really beautiful about that. So I'm excited for the next time we get to chat, but until then, see ya! Chai tea is so good.